Hello and welcome back to Speak English Unleashed. I'm Paul, and today we have something fun and different for you. We're going to learn English through a story, a short, simple, and exciting one. Don't worry, we're not reading the full book. This is a summarized story, made easy for English learners like you. It's clear, slow, and perfect for shadowing. You can listen, repeat, or even write some parts down. The story today is called Treasure Island. It's an old classic about courage, friendship, and adventure. So, get ready, take a deep breath, and let's travel back in time together. A long time ago, in a quiet village by the sea, there was a small inn called the Admiral Benbow. A young boy named Jim Hawkins lived there with his parents. Life at the inn was simple, peaceful, and calm. Only a few travelers came by. Nothing exciting ever happened until one strange day, everything changed. One morning, an old sailor arrived. He was tall, strong, and looked rough. He had a deep scar on his face and always looked nervous, like someone was following him. Every day, he climbed the hill near the sea with his telescope and looked far out at the water. Maybe he was watching for someone. He drank too much rum, sang pirate songs, and scared the guests with his loud voice. His name was Billy Bones. Billy told young Jim to watch out for a sailor with one leg. He gave Jim a silver coin each month to keep an eye out. Jim didn't understand why Billy was afraid, but he knew something dark was behind it. Then one day, a blind man came to the inn. His name was Pew, and he was even scarier. He gave Billy a small round paper called the Black Spot, a pirate sign of death and danger. Billy turned pale, his hands shook, and within minutes he fell to the floor. His heart simply gave out. Jim and his mother were shocked. After a while, they opened Billy's old wooden chest. Inside, they found coins from many countries, but also something else. A map. A treasure map. It showed the place where the famous pirate Captain Flint had hidden his gold long ago. Jim took the map to Dr. Livesey, a kind and clever doctor, and to Squire Trelawney, a rich landowner. Together, they made a plan. They would sail across the sea to find Captain Flint's treasure. Now, say this with me. An adventure was about to begin. Good. Again, an adventure was about to begin. Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney found a strong and beautiful ship called the Hispaniola. They also hired a captain, Captain Smollett. He was strict but fair and honest. Jim was allowed to join as a cabin boy. He was so excited it was his first time on a ship. He felt brave, proud, and ready for the sea. One of the men on the ship was Long John Silver, the cook. He had one leg and used a wooden crutch, but he moved fast and smiled all the time. He was smart, friendly, and told funny sea stories. On his shoulder sat a green parrot that kept shouting, "Pieces of 8! Pieces of 8!" Everyone liked Silver. He helped others and made them laugh. But soon, Jim found out something terrible. One day, Jim was hiding inside a barrel on the ship. He didn't mean to, but while hiding, he heard Silver talking with some of the men. Jim froze and listened carefully. What he heard made his heart race. Silver and many of the crew were actually pirates. They had a secret plan. They would wait until the treasure was found, then take over the ship and keep the gold for themselves. Jim was scared but stayed quiet. Later, he ran to tell Captain Smollett and the honest men. Now they knew the truth. Many of the crew were dangerous. They had to be careful and ready to fight. After many days on the sea, the ship reached Treasure Island. The island looked peaceful green, full of trees, rocks, and caves. But everyone knew danger could be hiding anywhere. Some of the crew went to the island right away. Jim joined them, but soon walked off alone into the forest. There, he met a strange man named Ben Gunn. Ben was once a pirate too, but his old friends had left him behind on the island years ago. He had lived there alone for 3 years, eating berries and goats. He was strange, yes, but kind. Ben told Jim a secret: he had already found Captain Flint's treasure and hidden it in a safe place. He promised to help Jim, but only if Jim and his friends took him home after the adventure. While this was happening, things got worse. Long John Silver and the pirates took control of the ship. They wanted the treasure map. But Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, and Squire Trelawney stayed strong. They moved into an old wooden house on the island and prepared to fight. The pirates attacked the house with guns and swords, shouting and shooting. But the good men fought back bravely. They defended the house and didn't give up the map. Then Jim did something very brave. He found a small round boat and used it to sneak back to the ship. He fought one of the pirates and he won. He took control of the ship and moved it to a safe place, far away from the others. Later, he went back to the house and told his friends what he had done. They were amazed and proud. Silver tried to act friendly again, pretending he wanted peace, but Jim and the others didn't trust him anymore. The pirates soon followed the map to the place where they thought the treasure was. They dug and dug, but the treasure was gone. They had been tricked. They didn't know that Ben Gunn had already found and hidden it. Some pirates gave up, others ran into the forest and disappeared. In the end, the good men won. They were tired but safe, and now they knew where the real treasure was. They found gold, silver, and jewels from all over the world. There was so much treasure that it took many trips to carry it all. They prepared to sail home. Some pirates had died, some were left behind. And Long John Silver? He disappeared one night. He took a small bag of gold and was never seen again. When the ship returned to England, Jim and his friends were safe and rich. But Jim felt different. He had seen fear, greed, and death. He had learned courage, friendship, and trust. He was no longer a little boy. He had grown up through this great adventure. Now, take a breath. Say this with me. Every challenge teaches me something new. Good. Again. Every challenge teaches me something new. All right. That was the story of Treasure Island. Okay. Take a slow breath. Let's now look at some of the most useful words and phrases from today's story. These are simple, but very powerful for your English. You will hear me say each word, explain it clearly, give one real example, and then you'll repeat after me. Ready? Let's begin. The first phrase is by the sea. It means near the ocean or next to the coast. You can use it when you talk about places close to the water. For example, they built a small house by the sea. Now repeat after me. By the sea. Good. Again, we live by the sea. Excellent. The next word is inn. An inn is a small, old hotel, usually quiet and cozy. People stop there to rest during a trip. Listen to this. We stayed at a little inn on our road trip. Now you. We stayed at a little inn. Great job. Say it again. Let's rest at an inn tonight. Perfect. Now, let's learn the word rough. When someone looks rough, it means they look tough, messy, or wild, not clean or calm. For example, the sailor looked rough, with dirty clothes and messy hair. Now repeat. He looked rough. Again, that man has a rough face, nice and clear. Next is scar. A scar is a mark on the skin after a cut or wound heals. For example, she has a small scar on her knee. Now you. He has a scar on his face. Again, that man has a long scar. Well done. The next word is nervous. Nervous means you feel worried or afraid something bad might happen. For example, Jim felt nervous when he met the old sailor. Now repeat. I feel nervous before a test. Good. One more. He looked nervous. Great work. Now let's practice the phrase watching for someone. It means waiting and looking to see if someone is coming. Listen. He stood by the window, watching for his friend. Now you. He was watching for danger. Very nice. Here's another one. Keep an eye out. This means to watch carefully, to stay alert. You can say, keep an eye out for your bag. Now you. Keep an eye out for trouble. Perfect. Next is pale. When someone is pale, their face looks very white, maybe from fear or sickness. For example, she went pale when she heard the bad news. Now repeat. He looked pale. Again, she went pale with fear. Good. The next word is collapse. To collapse means to fall down suddenly, maybe from shock, pain, or tiredness. Example. He collapsed on the floor after running too long. Now you. He collapsed from fear. Nice. The next phrase is, his heart gave out. That means his heart stopped often because of shock, fear, or stress. For example, he was so scared, his heart gave out. Repeat. His heart simply gave out. One more. The man's heart gave out. Well done. Now, let's learn adventure. An adventure is an exciting trip or experience, sometimes a little dangerous, but full of discovery. For example, climbing the mountain was a big adventure. Now say it. That was a great adventure. Excellent. The next word is voyage. A voyage is a long trip by ship. For example, the voyage took many weeks. Now repeat. They went on a long voyage. Good job. Next word, strict. A strict person follows rules closely and expects others to do the same. Example, our teacher is strict but fair. Now you. The captain was very strict. Great. Now listen to this phrase, take over the ship. That means to control the ship, often by force. For example, the pirates tried to take over the ship. Now you. They wanted to take over the ship. Perfect. Here's another useful phrase right away. It means immediately, without waiting. For example, come here right away. Now repeat. Do it right away. Again, he left right away. Very good. Next is walked off. To walk off means to leave quietly, without saying anything. Example, he didn't answer. He just walked off. Now say, Jim walked off into the forest. Good. Now let's learn the word pirate. A pirate is a sailor who steals from other ships. Example, pirates sailed across the sea looking for gold. Now you. The pirates attacked the ship. Great job. The next word is treasure. Treasure means gold, silver, jewels, or anything very valuable. Example, they found a box of treasure on the island. Now repeat. We found the treasure. Good. Here's a new one map. A map shows places, roads, or directions. Example, he opened the map to find the island. Repeat after me. This is the treasure map. Excellent. The next word is island. An island is a piece of land surrounded by water. For example, they sailed to a small island. Now you. Treasure Island was far away. Nicely done. Let's practice ship. A ship is a large boat used for travel across the sea. Example, the ship was ready to sail. Now repeat. They lived on the ship. Good. Next, we have crew. The crew means the group of people who work on a ship. Example, the crew worked hard during the storm. Now you. Jim was part of the crew. Great. And here's captain. The captain is the person who leads the ship. Example, the captain gave the order to sail. Now say it. Captain Smollett was strict but fair. Perfect. Next, parrot. A parrot is a colorful bird that can copy human speech. Example, the green parrot said, "Pieces of 8." Now you. The parrot was on his shoulder. Excellent. Now let's say fight. To fight means to use strength or courage to win against danger. Example, the men fought bravely against the pirates. Now repeat. They fought hard. One more. Jim fought a pirate. Good job. Here's another one. Hide. To hide means to keep something secret or out of sight. Example, he hid the treasure in a cave. Now say, they hid in the forest. Well done. Now the word escape. Escape means to get away from danger or a bad place. Example, some pirates escaped into the forest. Now you. He escaped from the ship. Nice. Almost done. The next word is safe. Safe means protected or free from danger. Example, they were finally safe on the ship. Now repeat. Jim and his friends were safe. Excellent. Now, let's say brave. Brave means not afraid when facing danger. Example, Jim was brave when he fought the pirate. Now you. Be brave and speak English. Good. Last one, grow up. To grow up means to become older and wiser. Example, Jim grew up after his adventure. Now repeat. I grow up with every challenge. Great. Take a deep breath. You did great. All these words come from today's story, but they're also useful in your daily English. You can use them to talk about travel, challenges, or your own adventures in life. Say this with me slowly. Every word I learn brings me closer to fluency. Again. Every word I learn brings me closer to fluency. Now, before we finish, here's your small goal for today. Replay this episode, listen again to the story, and shadow one short part, maybe just 2 minutes. Repeat what you hear. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on rhythm, not grammar. You're doing great. Keep going, one small step at a time. I'm Paul, and this is Speak English. Unleashed your space to listen, repeat, and grow. See you next time, my friend.